down. Twist really going for it with his Glock. There we go. He's going to get taken out. Very patient play from Twist. They're taking over control of control. So Liquid have got their process and they're moving through.
Yes, indeed. Looking to try to get that bomb down, but it's not going to be too easy here if the Faze players challenging these positions. You can see Stewie doesn't quite have an open angle for this. Will be able to deal with Nico. But has he bought himself enough space here? Because another oncoming assailant will be there to take him out. Stewie doesn't have any teammates there to really help him out in that position. So it's getting so awkward here for Team Liquid to find a way to finish this round off, as now the bomb is being guarded by Adren. And Twist is trying to find that frag, but Faze, they can play the time here. And Rain ready to deal with Twist. And now it's down to Elige, 1 versus 2. This will be a difficult one. Again, it's so awkward. Each of those engagements, James, was very difficult for Team Liquid.
Yeah, you see the high pressure there already in the pistol round. The look of loss on the face of Elige. FaZe Clan off to a positive start on the counter-terrorist side. Dan's expecting struggles for them on the second half of things. So we've got plenty to look forward to as this game of Nuke progresses. But first we'll see what the anti-eco or anti-force buy situation is like. We've got a pause at present, so there may be a slight delay before things continue. Rain's got the French gun out. It's an important round to get Molotovs, or should I say incendiaries, on the CT side, and that can be the difference between an SMG and a rifle. Especially on a map such as Nuke, I would probably, depending on my position, like in the A-bomb site, I might prefer to, in a round such as this, to have a Molotov and an SMG over a rifle. But there are risks to be taken as well, because then you may have to spend more money or just accept a weaker buy once the AKs come out.
It's a tough life, isn't it? It's a tough life. I think you want to, I mean, you want to see it go this way, I think. For me, for the most competitive Nuke, I feel like for Liquid to have the struggles,
to
yeah,
have a good start, of course.
But the interesting thing too, I think, is that both FaZe and Liquid sort of have a lot to prove going into, the first half of this year. Of course, Liquid had for them a very disappointing result going into the major. They lost in the quarterfinals of the playoffs against ENCE, and I think that was a matchup that they expected to win. I think if you watch the game, you could see that they weren't playing 100%. Like, you could, for whatever reason, they weren't there, and you could see that they were very disappointed with the result. Perhaps at that point, not quite sure why they couldn't get into the zone. And they expected, most people had them pegged for the finals. So there's a huge ask for Team Liquid, a lot of pressure for them to deliver when it comes to that, because after they made the change to put Stewie onto the team, to swap out the coaches, at a point where last year they were already a consistent top 3 team in the world, constantly playing finals. Astralis, their only kryptonite, really. They had Na'Vi's number, and Na'Vi were one of the other top 3 teams at that point as well. So, but if you look at FaZe, they have like similar issues, but in a different light. They've got their own struggles where they just can't. They got all this talent. They've got a ridiculous amount of talent, but they can't bring it together in the right way for some reason. And Adren's come in, and obviously Adren's a story player. He's a major winner. He's got so much experience, yet it still doesn't seem to click for them either. Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's not coming in as the in-game leader, which has definitely been an issue for the team. So we were waiting for Guardian to reconnect. He's reconnected, but now we've got 2 Nikos, which would be terrible for Team Liquid.
What a spectacle that would be.
Imagine 5 Nikos. I don't even know. I can't even imagine. So we have... okay, they're just waiting for the round to be reloaded, and then I think they will be good to go. So that will be happening shortly. There it is. Marvelous stuff. And now we can continue with things. And there is Stewie 2K, new man for Team Liquid. Again, new roles and identities for Liquid, with Taco on the way out and Stewie on the way in. Very interesting to see if they will overall be a better team, at least in terms of results, because you could say, okay, I mean, it depends on the role you're playing and so on. I think most people will see Stewie as an upgrade. One person jumping out of the seat, one person jumping in, but will the results reflect that in the long term? That is the question.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's still lots of time for them to make this once again a consistent top 3 team in the world. But this round all about FaZe with those rifles. Well, I say rifles actually, only the 2 FAMAS. See Guardians stuck on the P250 for now, just saving to make sure that he can have an AWP as soon as possible. Nico Speaking of which, is getting himself some action here with that Famas outside. So just trying to do some damage with these Glocks and the one Deagle that Stewie had, but Nico's happily dispatching everyone. So this will be somewhat of a nothing round for Team Liquid. Doesn't seem like they've been able to really do any damage. Faze still holding on to nades, almost taking down Guardian, but he will survive. So clean round for Faze.
That would have been interesting if they'd taken him out. You saw he had 5650 in the bank. Although I guess on the C2 side, the helmet's not a big deal. But sometimes when you're ecoing, you're essentially ecoing for the AWP when you've won the pistol round. And if you lose your armor, you've got to buy that again. And it can leave you just short of the AWP if you want armor and a helmet, which is very irritating in open experience. But I'll buy the AWP regardless, at all times, all of the time. So here we go. Team Liquid looking for their first W in this game of Nuke. They are on their first buy round. They've got the 5 AKs. They've got enough utility to get the wall of smoke outside. That's what's being lined up at the moment. See Elige deploying his smoke grenade. Sometimes the CT side will throw a Molotov into those smokes to keep a gap there. And they'll slowly, quietly cross over. So it'll be hard for FaZe Clan to figure out how many people have made it over, if any at all. You can see he's holding the gap position. As soon as he spots the player, he will delay, drop a smoke grenade, or a Molotov in fact. Does he throw a smoke into the molly? HE behind it. He's got his own combos going on. Some light damage done. And now Liquid are delayed for an extra 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, I love this for FaZe because it's such a strong punish, because Team Liquid are playing a really slow round, and Nico doing that at this timing. Look how much time there's left now for Team Liquid. As soon as they're spotted, they're going to be pretty committed into going to this lower bomb site, and FaZe are going to know that. Although Nico won't have any more utility to really delay them, except the flashbang. So they hit the shots. The Famas not hitting the mark for Nico. And these entry frags are doing massive amounts of work for Team Liquid. They look guaranteed for a bomb plant on this lower bomb site now. The Dread drops through the vents. I don't know how he's pulled that one off. MP9 actually pretty serviceable in situations like that. But now it's down to Olof, close range with the UMP.
Look at the time on the clock. There are 8 seconds. The bomb hasn't been planted just yet. If he lands the kill, 5 seconds. He's won the round. Guardian's got to run for his life. He's the only man. Oh, there's someone up top. He could actually lose. Oh my God. That was absolutely crazy. But FaZe Clan just about win the round. That was got to be so close. I wasn't even sure what happened.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
It's like, how do I process what has just happened here? That was really, really awesome. The thing is, the response from Team Liquid was great, because a lot of people might go slow here, like, oh my God, you know, I might lose a player. But they understand that they have time issues, so they're pushing together to trade worst case scenario, rushing towards that first position. And Guardian's like, oh my God, I stole that one away. And Hooper has a better buy at this point. It is a little ropey for both sides. A great start from Nitro, though. Nico taken out very early indeed. We see Adren on the UMP. So despite winning the rounds, FaZe Clan is still having a clean sheet. Team Liquid indeed have a better buy.
This is one thing I love about how Counter-Strike has evolved in the professional level, is that on every top team, they understand that Europa, no matter his tendencies. Actually, speaking of which, might have to see if Nitro can get this peak. And it looks like, will there be a flash from a teammate to maybe throw Olaf off the angle? Then Nitro might retake it, or is he just going to hold this for a push?
There's no way Nitro gets this kill. If he crab walks out,
yeah,
Stu going to run past the angle for him. Oh, okay, that's the way to do it, but the AUG is too strong. That's why I'm saying it. There's no way crab walks dry and gets a kill there. No way. Not against an AUG.
Well, Guardian is ready and waiting to do the damage. Oh, flashbang, double flash comes out. Really important. That second flash did everything. That really screwed Guardian. I think he lost track of the players and then got caught off guard. But that's a good push coming in from Olofmeister. This could make an enormous difference. This is a really smart play. Going a bit aggressive after you lose it, you lose some space, you take a big risk, but look how it's paying off. Now FaZe know what's coming. Olofmeister's on the unsuspected flank. Adren is playing from the height. He hears everyone running through the squeaky door position. Despite being in the worst spot, because of Olofmeister's play, FaZe are actually not in too bad of a position if they can frag out, but it's down to Olofmeister on the flank. They've got no idea he's there. He's going to win the round by himself, but he'll get taken down by Stewie. Stewie was ready for that one. That was close, though.
It was close, but it wasn't close enough for Faze Clan. Losing 1 round, they are immediately in eco territory. 1,500 on 3 of the players, and it seems that it will be a force buy. They know that this is the best of the few choices they have available to them, Faze Clan. So, but again, we have to really credit that double flash from Team Liquid, because he was so blind he didn't even know how to reposition or anything. Just completely exposed in the ramp area and taken out. That was great attention to detail for Team Liquid, and that might be the kind of thing that Adren brings to the team. But again, it's guesswork. You never quite know what the coach is doing in the background. But that's great attention to detail to see from Team Liquid for sure.
Yeah, it's just another one of those ways where the top level evolves. And I just love watching. That's like one of the most enjoyable things about watching professional Counter-Strike is seeing the level that team, like, you know, the level of innovation teams have to go to one up, or the level of one-upmanship, I suppose, is the best way to put it. And that's kind of the tactical approach, as you said, James. That was what we were really talking about, indeed. So good to see it coming out, and Faze in an awkward position on the money. In part because when they won that 1 round, it was so weird when Guardian was left alive, just barely surviving after time, or just before the time ran out. But Team Liquid now, this looks like it could be the position in which they start to take over the match. We'll have to see if they can continue to convert, because close range with the pistols is difficult, but Team Liquid seem to be ready. Taking the Heaven position, very, very favorable way to play your anti-eco or force buy, because once you do this, there is no position the CTs can stand on, and they can't challenge you outside either. So you can see, oh wow, actually look at this, just coming in from the back and trying to give it a good go with that AK-47 picked up from Olofmeister, but surely he's outnumbered here.
Nice preemptive HE grenade, because he knows there's bomb plant pressure. The bomb has now been planted, and Rain and Olofmeister are still alive. But Twister's got a pretty good angle. Olofmeister has an AK-47 to consider saving. He's got a defuse kit, but surely at this point, the best opportunities have come and gone for him. No longer on the high ground, thanks to that Molotov towards the Heaven position. So that could have been worse for Team Liquid. But they're one of the teams that I have less concern for when the clock starts to tick down in a round such as this. I think they're one of the most well-equipped teams to deal with it. And we saw evidence in that after they got smoked off towards that secret position and were charging with a trade frag setup into their first round. And that's their second round on the board. Rain will try to salvage anything. Boom, he's got himself an AK.
You know, I think it's pretty cool, actually, because as you say, James, you know, not too worried about Team Liquid in those spots where one of the operating factors is discipline, because I feel like that's part of somewhat of the legacy that Zeus really left for the team when he really created the structure and went on that 2-year journey with this core of Team Liquid. And as you say, like that's just something you don't worry about. Like these players kind of grew up under Zeus's leadership in that sense, and they've been one of the very most disciplined teams, and that's a great piece of their identity. And 2 AKs here for Faze. It's not a bad round on the save. See if they can do some damage with that. Slow Team Liquid down. Keep their economy honest.
So we see Rain with one of the 2 AKs having a poke and a prod around a squeaky position. And where's Olofmeister? He's outside with the second one on off angle in a secret position. So Liquid know that one is or was around Squeaky. I think that's all the information they have. And let's not forget Olofmeister has a kit, and that may play a part in things later on. Now, in a round such as this, when you've got 2 AKs and that's about it on the CT side, you want to try and have a preemptive play, a forward play, and that's what Liquid have been waiting for or looking for at the first half of this round, and they've had nothing so far. Nitro looks to line up a grenade towards the smoke grenade towards the Heaven position, and it seems that Liquid are ready to push.
And they go through the squeaky door, but you can hear that, or rather Faze can hear that, and they'll try to wrap around. And it's like it's going to be hard to catch Liquid off guard. And indeed, they will be able to hold off the forces of Faze as they charge in. But again, I feel like Faze are making some incredible pushes. Like when their backs against the wall, Team Liquid have given them a hard decision. It still feels like, oh, actually, Faze have found a way to make a play that makes sense here. That's actually kind of genius, and it gives them some opportunity at least.
Yes, from what we can see, they have made some really good reactions, like the 2-man push into hut once they saw the grenades coming in. expecting expecting Liquid to push into the A bomb site. They are looking to engage them in as close quarters as possible, looking for those fast headshots and so on. So they made the right plays in that round from what we saw, but Liquid were far better prepared. So where Nitro was just standing around that corner is a good anti-eco position if you're the only person towards lobby, for example, because if there's a push through from Ramp or Squeaky or Hut or otherwise, or all at the same time or some, then you can easily fall back. He had his teammates back, quite literally, once that Hut push came in. So Liquid are, again, they're showing that they're very, very prepared. That is exactly what I'm talking about. This is a position where you deal with the anti-eco pushes from a CT side, in most cases with an AK-47, but the AWP work there as well.
So it's been a while, it feels like for FaZe at least, since they had the full buy. But they're back there again pretty much, lacking some grenades, no AWP, but otherwise in a good state. And this is a map that you can play without an AWP on the CT side. And you can see that aggression is the name of the game here to try to account for this. And I think the barrel's been spotted by Nico, absolutely goes up onto the red container, and that's going to be it for Nitro. So that's a good start for FaZe. And now this is where we would expect to see some form of a response from Team Liquid. You can see them starting to move in towards the ramp position, but it does feel like the ball is in the court of FaZe at this point.
With Liquid not having shown on the roof and the silo at that point, do they read that FaZe clan, think they're all inside? And how do they play against that with the 4 people? All these questions to be answered as this continues. Elysian Twist starting to move. Someone's got to swing wide for this peak. Guardian still alive for now, considering his options, and he will choose to fall back. Again, he's been eating flashbangs there already with the AWP on the York. He may feel weaker, falling back, and 3 players move towards B bomb site. Olaf Meister not real just yet. Second frag for him. Doesn't spot the player by double doors in time, but the bomb's on the high ground, and that's got to be collected by a Legion. This is going to buy time for FaZe Clan to move closer to the last 2 players of Team Liquid.
30 seconds to make something of this very dire situation. And this is great to see FaZe able to take the initiative and pull the advantages back. But speaking of which, Stewie finding himself a 1v1 there, giving some form of a chance here. The quick rotation back through the vents into the upper position. Molotov on Heaven, buying time for that plant. And it looks like Team Liquid will get it. 2 versus 2. Oh, not quite ready for that one, but still getting the kill. I don't believe it. The Guardian now looking to save things. Stewie still has about half health, and Guardian, though, he is really worse for wear. 5 HP. This is going to be tough for him. He's still holding the high ground here. Knows he has some time. Stewie knows exactly where he's coming from, and that is a fantastic finish to the round. Liquid were in so much trouble.
Such a tight round. Guardian looked like he scraped just a little bit, so he couldn't see Stewie moving through the gap on the bomb site because he was looking for it. But as soon as he just went a little bit too much to his left, Stewie went past the angle. Really brutal timing for him. Great position from Stewie. How he got away with that, I have no idea. And that put him down to half health, and as you can see, just about had the first bullet ready.
I got to say, James, just again, like an attention to detail thing. I noticed another cool little tidbit for Team Liquid. When they were peeking from ramp, I think it was Elige and Stewie were the first 2 players to try to get the entry frag from ramp. And when they peeked the angle, I think it was Elige who shoulder peeks, but at the same time that he shoulder peeks to bait out a shot, a wide peek came in from his teammate at the same timing. So that's definitely rehearsed. I don't think I've really seen teams doing that. So I wonder if that's something that they've been working on, like specific peak timings to try to throw off defenders holding an angle, because it did work. It was pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, despite the score being pretty close, let's bear in mind FaZe Clan won the pistol. I feel like Liquid have shown themselves to be extremely polished from what we've seen so far on the T side again. Minimal mistakes, great structure, as they've often had, great discipline as per usual. I like the aggression we've had towards the squeaky door from Nitro as well. Elige checks the roof eventually, but he's kind of exposed to multiple positions. He can deal with one of them, that doesn't quite work out for him. Too many targets, and looks like the cleanup operation is here. Nitro with the 3rd man being sprayed down, and there is the 4th for him. So the cleanup will be swift from Team Liquid, and I wouldn't expect much less from them.
And yeah, Team Liquid's now on fire. 5 rounds in a row for them. They are really killing it.
Put a thermometer up your ass, you're on fire.
And well, this is really cool to see from Nitro, just using all those bullets from the AK-47. And now things start to get a little bit tight here for Faze because Team Liquid definitely hitting some momentum. But again, like what's so cool about Team Liquid is they hit their zone, but they're also they're crossing the T's, they're dotting the I's. Everything is looking so strong as far as their tactics are concerned. So very, as you said, James, just so polished. And we're back on the AWP for Guardian. Perhaps that can make the difference. Speaking of which, Nico up on the red container again, gets himself 2 kills. But still, Stewie now, he's picked up the pace, sprinting down towards the lower bomb site, trying to find something, trying to outmaneuver the CTs because they need something, some advantage now. And I mean, they made it happen before, but can they do it again?
Nico didn't just get those 2 kills, though. He saw at least 2 of the remaining 3 players. So Liquid know they are very exposed at the moment. They're a man down. Faze more or less nowhere. Pretty much the entire team is. I mean, maybe there's a lurker, but they have to assume the worst, Team Liquid. So what do you do now? It's a very tough spot. However, Liquid being Liquid, they've got some very dangerous fraggers with AK-47s, and that's really important. Naf, Stewie, and Twist. I mean, there is no real bad combination of players on that team to try and force your way back into a round on the T side when your opponent has pretty much all the information. Now Naf is trying to pull the CTs out of position, and indeed he seems to be doing that. This is a dangerous spot because he could lurk towards the ramp area, which he's doing at the moment. That's pulled Olofmeister away, so all the FaZe Clan players scared about their 6 at the moment, and he's playing his job very, very well now. Just quietly moving forward, but the bomb's being picked up, and again it's Olofmeister now with the multi-frag. May have seen Naf on the ramp position, and now he's really in an insurmountable spot. He will get taken out towards that ramp, so a valiant effort from Nafly, but it wasn't enough ultimately, and it will be Team Liquid just 1 round ahead now.
Yeah, what a timely round to win for Faze. Again, this is a map where you expect that the T side will be more difficult, that you'll get a bunch more rounds on the CT side. It's a little bit more favored. At the top level, sometimes that's not necessarily how it goes because of a few different factors. For example, the meta game, like the stylistic matchups, the study, the preparation the teams have done on each other, and the familiarity. There's a bunch of different factors when you get to this level of Counter-Strike that can defy the convention. And speaking of defy, we're seeing Faze here trying to hold up to upper bomb site and defy this push here from Team Liquid as they get the Molotovs everywhere. Once again, fantastic entry kills coming out of Nitro in this upper bomb site, looking to get that bomb down, and Guardian in such a rough position. The flick shot does connect, but won't find the frag just yet. It's up to Guardian with that AWP from the main position. It's so awkward. How do you do this?
Guardian 1 versus 2. We've seen him deal with harder things. Picks up the AK-47. Nafly moving up the ladder. Guardian looking for the trade fragger. Where does he throw the HE? The fadeaway, not quite hitting the mark. He's got a flashbang as well. Will he really commit to this? That bomb is quite far ticked now, but he does have a fuse again. Trying to draw the players up. Still so obsessed with the trade fragger, waiting for him to pop out, but couldn't find the right spot. And that will be Liquid 6 rounds now to the 4 of FaZe Clan. And we see the money has been broken for FaZe Clan again. So after losing the pistol rounds, their success has been somewhat limited. Well, pretty much they've won 1 round out of the last 7 and have been reset immediately. So it is forced by territory for them, and they will be forcing, and it's a pretty good force, all things considered. They don't have much in the name of grenades, but they certainly have some dangerous weapons to contend with.
Absolutely, it's going to have to be something special, it seems, at this point to deal with Team Liquid, because even in spots where Faze have actually opened up, we've seen Nico a couple times open things up with a 2K. It's still difficult to close those rounds down. In one case, they were unable to do that, and we just get a clutch out of Team Liquid. And when Team Liquid aren't clutching, they're just getting the advantage using superior tactics and very solid team play and cohesion. Faze waiting for Team Liquid, but Faze have no utility remaining basically at this point. 3 flashbangs is all they have to work with. No aggressive positions. They're just waiting for Team Liquid to come to them with a play. Faze needs somebody to step up, and there you go. Guardian finding one outside. Oh, sorry, on ramp, I should say. And that's something.
Three players remain for Liquid, and now it's 2. Nafly standing on his last legs. He could be taken by the UMP, but So probably not fancying that kind of duel with a UMP. Nico will finish off the job, and that is the round that FaZe Clan needed. Things have been very expensive for them. They all survive, but they don't really get to build much money out of it. Again, they were light on grenades. They've got plenty to buy, even all surviving in this particular round. Diffuse kits, incendiary, smokes, flashes. So they'll still be a little short. I mean, the score says close game so far. I feel like Liquid have a chance to pull away a little, but if FaZe Clan can stabilize their economy a little, then who knows? Certainly not too late for them to finish with a lead at halftime, especially with Guardian on the AWP.
Yeah, it's been good that how he's been rotating around. It's so important. It changes the dynamic of how you work the entry frags. If you know you're up against a rifle or an AWP, it's completely different how you want to handle things. So really cool to see that he's been going outside, multiple different positions on ramp. Sometimes he's the supporting player on ramp. Sometimes he's the dedicated ramp guy. Seen him outside in a variety of positions as well. And that'll keep Team Liquid guessing. And you have Nitro on the AK here, and Molotov will force Rain away from the headshot position, so he can't really see anything at this point. He's going to hear a lot, though. There's a quick nade as well to force him backwards. And Team Liquid, despite what they're lacking in weaponry, they're making up for in numbers, in team play, in utility usage. We're seeing them closing in on that lower bomb site now. And finally deciding to go for the challenge on Rain. They're making it really hard. Rain playing a very unfavorable angle, and he will get taken down. 3 versus 3, and guns have been collected here for Liquid.
35 seconds on the clock. Nico on the flank. Realize finally, Nitro with the crouch peek, and it's Adren now. 1 versus 3. Maybe position unknown. Spotted one player towards that ramp position. Is that HG going to help him? Twist is low. Twist is gone. Does he realize one more player is there? He should, because the bomb was being planted. There's a flashbang, but how on earth does he avoid getting traded by Naf with the AWP pinging the door? He's trying to bait another shot. Done it for now. Nitro, oh, that was a close one. Naflight can't hit the mark just yet. And now swing around the Rosie. He's going high, but it gets taken down from the low. And that will be 7 rounds on the board for Team Liquid. Running out of rounds now in this first half, and maybe they will pull away after all. But there is another buy to be had here for FaZe Clan.
Dude, Nitro is playing so well this game, James. Maybe he should burn his face with the sun more often. He's a nasty sunburn there.
Yeah, I guess he was wearing a hat the wrong way around or something. That's really going to be a weird timeline, isn't it? That's one of the weirder ones.
He's performing, James. Perhaps the pain. I don't know what it is.
It's really weird, isn't it?
He's doing a good job. I mean, he was the only rifle on the team in that previous round. They had 1 rifle. Everyone else had pistols. And yet they won that round pretty convincingly, honestly. I mean, obviously that 1v2 at the end was a little bit scary, but generally the way that they isolated Rain and pushed him back and decided when to deal with him and how they dealt with him, and the fact that they forced him into a position that was a terrible angle that made their lives easier, it just goes back to this word which you used earlier, polished. Team Liquid are very polished on Nuke, and it's really a joy to watch.
What do you guys think Nitro had on his head to get a tan line like that? Underwear, a pot, a hat the wrong way round. Answers to James Bard on Twitter. And the best ones, I don't know what we'll do with them. I'll decide depending on what they are. Round number 13. 3 rounds remain in this half. 13, 14, 15. Now we see FaZe Clan at this point in the round. There's plenty of time on the clock, minute 35. And again, they start to lack in grenades and may make up for this. Nico not quite spotting the head of Stewie over the smoke. Stewie will move forward towards main with a high flashbang that takes Guardian's angles away. Bound to smoke towards that main position. Guardian starts to move back, looking for an opportunity. On the M4A4 for now, no AWP for him. Hasn't had much AWP in this half. And that will be disappointing as there are angles to be held. The T side will presumably be more difficult for him. FaZe Clan dealing with a 4v5 situation. Got the flashes now, Rain spotted Stewie. There he goes.
50 seconds, and Liquid are able to find answers outside, but at least he's going to find some answers inside. The ramp is going to be now the only opening here for Liquid onto that lower bomb side plant, and you can see Rain creeping around the vents. Drone and Guardian will try to rotate their way through as well, but this looks quite difficult. Naf is there waiting. He's going to hear Guardian stepping around. This is very awkward here for FaZe. I'm not sure how they can pull this one off. They're so separated as well. Nitro deals with Guardian, and surely with that, that's going to be a wrap for this round. Faze will save what they have, bring it into the following round as we see Rain book it all the way to T-Spawn. Then he'll get himself an upgrade.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of hunting on your own with an AWP for this very reason, especially when you're on a T side, because if you're chasing someone and they have a better angle than you give up an AWP, this could make a difference. You don't want to give Guardian an AWP. So for me, with 3 people alive, I want the AWP guy at least, well, either staying on or near the bomb site or being with a teammate to avoid this from happening. You don't want a sniper rifle to get into the hands of a poor CT side. Now, Adren has Kevlar, but surely Guardian should take the AWP. Please drop it to him. There we go. Thank you very much. All is well.
Yeah, I think you're completely right. It's like the one weapon that can really turn the tide. Just because it's, if you get fortunate in like where the opponents are going, where you post up at the beginning of the round, it's very hard to trade kills. But look at this. This is a good way to deal with it. Just charge in to this A bomb site once again. Team Liquid crushing the upper bomb site with their push, and we're going to see Faze responding, getting a frag off that AWP. But look at Guardian now. He's completely locked out of the action.
And he's almost alone. Oh, that's nice from Olofmeister. But the bomb has been planted. If he was able to stop the bomb from going down, then really, I think they have a chance of the smoke soon going. But that surely makes a difference. And now Guardian will presumably back away towards that T-spawn position. But that AWP, if he's able to hold on to it, it's extra money to buy different things as they move into the last round of the first half. But indeed, you just don't want to be giving up an AWP in that fashion. And with Adren back on Team Liquid, of course, in a different role, it reminds me of a very long time ago when Simple was a much younger player on Team Liquid with Adren. And it was a Dust 2 game, and Simple was chasing, he was trying to hunt somebody with the AWP, and he ran through Dust 2 long doors, and Adren understood that, the pitfalls of doing that alone with AWP, so he went with him and they both died unnecessarily. And I remember pointing this out at that was years ago, but I suppose we've come full circle in some ways. Now, at least for Team Liquid. Last round of the first half, and we'll see what Faze Clan, what kind of buy they have. Again, AWP will give them full grenades. You see Guardians left for 400, so that money has certainly come in handy.
Yeah, it really has. And he's really good at having impact, although whiffing that first shot, again, this is something that often happens. And look how fast Stewie is down to the lower bomb site. Big rotations have to happen now for Faze. And sometimes, especially those smokes outside, you don't quite know if that player's sneaking down the vents, if the team is going to commit behind that player, or if he'll end up lurking. And just, it's about pulling rotation. But Nico's in position, and he's going to start things off well. But just a slither of an angle is enough for that to take him down. Olofmeister only good for the one. 3 versus 3, though, for Faze. They've been trading out the kills fairly well. Guardian, oh god, there's nowhere to stand. Flames everywhere. And this will lend a favorable afterplant to Team Liquid.
3 versus 3. 2 kits, 2 smokes, 4 flashes, but it's mainly the smokes, I think, and the kits for Faze Clan, and of course fragging. Rain clearing out the vents position, allowing Adren to come down. Twist with a very strong angle. It's going to be hard to deal with. Stereo frags for Team Liquid, and they will have a 10-5 scoreline at half-time. And I do think that's a quite fair scoreline as far as they are concerned, because I think that they had a very strong T side. I think it was very clear how much study and synchronization they have, and I think they deserved it.
The really cool thing about their T side as well is that it was not like there are some gimmicks, like, where they're able to win some critical rounds by having some kind of set piece or something that we haven't seen before, or a wall bang that's kind of crazy, and Faze like, whoa, we haven't seen that before. We have to feel it out, be the recipients a couple times. Okay, now we know how to deal with it. It's nothing like that. It's just like very solid, basic fundamentals from Team Liquid. And that makes, honestly, seeing their form on this one nuke alone really makes me feel very good on their prospects overall. Really looking strong out the gates here. Faze with a lot to answer for, but it's Faze, it's Faze. They have some of the most talented players in the entire world.
Yeah, so day one here in Miami, you can see what the stage looks like. A familiar face for Blast, and that a great screen set up as well with all the players' information and cameras up top, so that's pretty cool. Had a walk around there. earlier on, looking at the setup for us as well, of course. So all the teams are up there at the moment. You can see Team Liquid on the left. And we're a Faze clan. I think Faze clan are just to camera left, a little further on.
Mr. G and Mr. B over there at the tip of the stage.
Yeah, Na'Vi and MIBR are in their pistol round. We're not far behind. We will be starting in about a minute. So, Na'Vi, we got to see some of them in Shanghai. They look super strong. Another team who looks like they are succeeding with structure. And against the likes of MIBR, that will be an interesting one to watch as well. Of course, 3 games going on at the same time, as is the nature of a Blast event. So pick your poison. Now, Liquid, the pistol round hasn't started just yet, but we've got a HE on Nitro. I guess it's going to go outside. And utility on 2 Faze clan players, but we'll get into that in a bit more detail once it actually begins.
Yeah, it's just touching on your point about Na'Vi very quickly, as we're still looking at Na'Vi, MIBR on the stage there. They're so interesting because they're a team that I don't know what it is. It's just they're so exciting. It's a mixture of the fact that they don't play this super disciplined kind of default-based Counter-Strike that a Team Liquid does, that an Astralis does, where you really focus on what is the most efficient way to play the game. But they have 2 of the best performing individuals, so their games are volatile and crazy, always. So enough about that, though. Looks like we will be going back live into Team Liquid and Faze. Back into the discipline of Team Liquid, and the question for Faze is, can the individuals do the damage on this T side? It's a big ask, James. It's a really big ask.
Yeah, bear in mind, Faze clan won the pistol in the first half, and they end up with 5 rounds on their CT side. That is less than ideal, to say the least. Adrenaline Guardian with utility. Nobody breaking off the squeaky door. It is a pistol round, though, but on the buy rounds, that has become very common. Some might even say default. Saw some nice picks from Nitro in the first half of the AWP there. Nico's always got a P250 in the T-side pistol round, which is fantastic. So he can take these duels. Again, with a Glock, you can't take these duels. You're going to die in most cases. But with a P250, it is 50-50 at the right ranges, and he will move back after showing some presence. And again, there's still plenty of utility for Faze clan. Breaking some glass towards the A site, but no execute just yet. But 2 smokes are in hand for Adrenaline Guardian. Literally in hand.
And there they go. Out of hands, being deployed. Nitro's going to be receiving one of those. And he's going to run straight through the smoke. Finds himself only a single frag, but twist and a distraction will close things down. And the bomb is on the ground as Adrenaline is left alive in a 1 versus 4. Will make it slightly less bad, but there's only so much he can do in this instance. The Leech will trade it up, and that is Liquid picking up that CT pistol. And that's going to feel very encouraging for them as the SMGs get brought to bear.
Yeah, and there's great spirits for Team Liquid there as well. A 3 versus 1 situation, and Elijah's confident enough to just go for the 1v1 duel and finish off the job, which probably has something to do with the smiling there. If you're feeling it, feel like it aims on point and better, superior, stronger, then go for it. Deliver with that ego, and he did. Let's put Faze clan on the pistols. The Glocks on 4 of the players, Nico on the P250 as per usual. Again, just trying to cost Liquid a little money. I think that's the main focus. There's no flashes, there's no real utility to help support a bomb plant attempt. Adrenaline creeping through the smoke, but it's being watched, of course. The CCTV cameras are out. And Faze clan will slowly be dispatched of in this round, it seems. 1 by 1. Double dink with the Glock, and there's another example of why it's not really the best weapon.
It's just funny that he's just really trying to make the burst work on the FAMAS, and it's so bad, James, that long range. He's losing the battle against the Glock. It's not a good look, is it, for the FAMAS? But that'll be 12-5 in favor of Team Liquid, of course, and the AKs will come out for Faze, and they've got to hit this one. They've got to hit this round on the heads. They've they just really need to get this comeback started straight away before Team Liquid get out of control in the economy. I mean, they're going to be playing effectively, you know, what is this sort of bonus round situation where you keep the SMGs. If you win the round, you upgrade your guns to AKs, and your economy is in an incredible state.
Some fishing through the smoke, and oh boy, that's aggressive from Nitro. AK taken out, doesn't try to recover or reclaim the AK. The frag, the position, the advantage is enough. There's no need to try and capitalize on that. That comes with added risk. That's what you to take. So now what is your answer, Faze Clan? You're 4 versus 5. You are 4 rounds away from defeat on Nuke in the first game for you of Blast Miami 2019.
Faze reinvestigating those forward positions in the outside areas here on Nuke, and of course with that MP9 and Nitro being so aggressive, you got to check everything. Wastes a lot of time, that small aggression. It has a larger impact than just the initial kill. It also kills some time on the clock, and Team Liquid are going to be very happy sitting on this 5 versus 4. Legion and off angle there by Secret. They've got a really good understanding of what Faze is doing, but Faze, they've got to pick up the pace here, and they'll make their way towards Secret. Double kill comes in for the FAMAS. That is massive work. Perhaps it's too much. So much to overcome here now for Faze.
35 seconds on the clock. Adren, he is on a lifeline, 24 HP. He and Olofmeister, Adren makes his way towards the heaven position. Olofmeister has to raw peek everything. Again, he needs the element of surprise. He can't be throwing grenades around and telegraphing his position, building expectation, visualization for Team Liquid. He needs to just burst and shoot people in the face. 15 seconds, he looks one way, gets taken out from the other, and that's going to be that. Adren with 24 HP may feel like he needs to run and die. He will be engaged by Twist, and there's another round in the bag for Team Liquid. A very solid performance from them so far on Nuke.
It is, yes, unquestionable. They just look so strong. Again, Nuke is one of those maps, it can be very technical, and it's a difficult one for Faze. You know, Team Liquid, they're kind of like Astralis in many respects. They're the North American Astralis in the sense is that they've got a really wide map pool. They can play pretty much everything. Tactically, very deep on all the maps as well. It's a difficult team to face up against.
Just to touch on the lack of AWP on the first side, I think Guardian's 5 for 15 at the moment as they look for some desperate frags and a Nico run. Oh, that is a complete mess. A rare miss from Twist, and that might really get some opportunity, but Naf is clearing house. He's keeping the guns out of the hands of these grubby players, and in fact, now there's not many players remaining. It's Nico once again with a P250 versus 3 players. I am not going to assume that this is over just yet because Nico is capable of a great many things. And there we go, there's the first kill. He hasn't overextended just yet, but as soon as he looks away, a lead pops up. If he had held for half a second, yes, he's got a P250, but it's Nico, so you never know. But it is going to be 14-5 for Team Liquid.
Yeah, big struggles still here for Faze as the AWP comes out for Guardian on this T side. And Stewie's on the AWP here for Team Liquid, which is, you know, Stewie coming into Team Liquid, you know, one of the dynamics is the fact that not only do you get someone that can AWP, Stewie can AWP very aggressively. He's very well suited to that, and I wonder if we're going to see any shenanigans such as that on this CT side as it continues. Looks like Stewie's on that ramp position, so life is going to be quite difficult. They go that way, but they're going to go straight to Elige. And you know what? That's a quick 3K from Nitro and Elige together, and just like that, James, the round has just been shut down. It's been really very, very shut down.
Faze Clan would love an answer to this. Just the one frag maybe, just to give them a chance. But it would need to come soon. That clock continues to tick. 2 versus 5. They want to spin to win. They need to gamble. They need to find someone. Looks one way, and that's the bomb loss. And that's probably the round at this point. 1 minute on the clock for Olofmeister. The bomb outside is a very, very big factor in his situation at the moment and really cripples anything he can do. He may not have even seen a person just yet, and all his friends are dead. And once again, Team Liquid are on fire. They're standing in the kitchen, and everything is aflame. Match point for Team Liquid. Looking like a dominating scoreline versus Faze Clan, but it's not over just yet. But it might be soon.
Yeah, it just seems like such a mismatch on the maps here. Again, it's so difficult to pick against Liquid, and you know, perhaps FaZe felt as though they had a game plan going into that. Maybe going into that T side, maybe they didn't anticipate such a strong performance. But here it is, fast round coming out from FaZe straight into the upper bomb site. Flashes up high here for Twist to try to get the defense going, and we'll see now a very fast switch down to the lower bomb site for FaZe. They've got positioning, they've taken down one player, Liege is gone. And in the chaos, they may have found some level of salvation, but a comeback in this round is always on the cards for a team like Liquid.
The control of the vents is really important for FaZe Clan. Nitro's been taken out already, leaving Liquid at a man disadvantage. Now, how much do you want to invest into this? The whole team has a buy, actually, Liquid, so even if they don't think they can do this, they can focus on taking weapons away from their opponent. Guardians is sitting there with a CZ by the double doors, and just running distraction now for being in pain, opening and closing the doors. There'll be frags all over the place on both sides, but now Nico's alone 1 versus 2, and that's going to be that. Both players with a kit, and it's going to be a 16-5 scoreline, a dominating scoreline from Team Liquid. Bear in mind, FaZe Clan won